Dale stepping back out of supercar action and into the Carrera Cup field quite successfully once again. He was pushed all the way by Jackson Evans. We're right on board with him right now in this beautiful Morris Finance entry.
Really good drive by him yesterday, and zero concern about the fact they finished second, which I think gives an indication into their mindset about building a championship from that very first race. They said, didn't quite work, second's great, good points, let's go and do the job today. And there is a bit of a suspicion that that inside road, second, fourth, sixth, is actually the better side of the racetrack to start on here, because it might actually be the cleaner side of the road. So if you judge your start right, you get better traction, and you more importantly get that inside run into the centre chicane. So it'll be interesting to watch that play out and see if Jackson Evans can do what happened yesterday as the roulettes give a send-off for this warm-up lap for Carrera Cup. That's very cool.
Perfectly timed with the roulettes up above. It's time to go racing on the Adelaide Parkland circuit, and it'll be race number 2 of the season for the beautiful Porsches in Porsche Wilson Security Carrera Cup Australia. Dale Wood, 40th different driver to win a race in this championship alongside Jackson Evans. The youngster Dylan O'Keefe behind him alongside the reigning champ David Wall. How about James Moffat? He's back. Jordan Love, he'll start outside row number 3. Another one of these Sonic drivers to watch out for. So too Mike Arman. Roger Largo on pole for Tag Heuer Pro-Am class. Looking forward to seeing a few of these names run through the field. Quite literally a driver like John Stephenson, pretty good at running. He'll be starting inside row number 8 alongside another rookie in Cameron Hill. Josh Hunt, returning driver. Leanne Tander, one of the big names to watch out for. 26 of these beasts. Watch out for Nick McBride. He will be flying, makes that move across to Porsche Centre Melbourne. Has to start from last.
Quite big contact with the number 8 car in that contact with Anthony Gilbertson down into turn 9 yesterday. Damage wasn't quite so severe as they thought. Wasn't a late night for that team. Replaced the right rear corner, suspension uprights on that car, and it is good to go. So 15 laps the distance in this one. It's all about looking after the rear tyres in these cars over a longer race distance, because with 45 extra brake horsepower this year, they're torching the rear Michelins a lot easier than they used to. So tyre conservation in this and making sure you've got something to fight with at the end will be absolutely critical. And he might just be able to drive out of the gravel trap here, the West Australian driver, so there won't be a safety car. Extraordinary moment through the chicane, but it's cost him an enormous amount of momentum, and he's getting gobbled up by his own teammates at the moment as Jordan Love tries to go around the inside. Now Michael Arman gets some contact, trying to go up the inside at turn 6. Wild moment, great start Jackson Evans, and David Wall gets to second place for the reigning champ.
And Jordan Love, in the space of 5 seconds, made contact with both his teammates. Arman just checking the steering as he approaches turn 8. That's definitely where you want to make sure that you've got the car ready to turn in. Evans escapes with the lead, and again, inside row number 1 seems to be the starting spot.
They've all been talking about front tyre temperature in these cars, as Stephen Grove goes down the inside of Roger Largo. There's more contact, and he gets pushed across to driver's left and will drop a bunch of spots. That was the battle for the Tag Heuer Pro-Am class lead. Roger Largo, the winner yesterday, equalled his best ever Carrera Cup Australia finish of 8th position. So very good performance by the Queensland-based driver in the JBS Racing Porsche 911. What a start.
Gee, they were queuing up at the back of the field as well. Someone was going slowly. It might have been Tim Miles. He may even head to the pits at the end of this one. After a frantic start, it was a patient race one. All the patience has been forgotten about overnight, and everyone getting after it at the beginning of race number 2 as they bounce their way down to turn 4.
So through all of that, Dale Wood ends up 5th from pole position, but it could have been much worse, because he could have ended up with a Porsche that was about as short as a Volkswagen Beetle, because he could have pinballed off both those fences and 24 other cars barreling up behind him as he bounced through the curb there at the centre chicane. Wild moment. He's escaped that, but he's got some work to do now, because he's shuffled back to P5. Good start, Jackson Evans. It was a complete reversal from what we saw in race 1 yesterday. That inside line, it hooked up and he drove away nicely.
David Wall going about his business. He'll slot into P2 here. Dylan O'Keefe, similar to yesterday's speed. In this front pack, the Sonic teammates just got away without calamitous amounts of damage down at turn 4 where they all scraped and bumped each other.
There was a little bit of contact between Michael Armand and Jordan Love as Mike tried to go up the inside. Couldn't quite get the move done. Just a little bit of a bump and run. So this was amazing stuff down at the centre chicane. Perfectly judged start. So they hold the cars just off the rev limiter at 7,500 RPM and dump the clutch to get the rear wheel spinning. As nicely executed by John Stephenson. That's a good start. The Porsche Carrera Cup Australia rookie right in the middle of the field. And he's got gain at the moment. Started 15th. He's now up to 12th.
It was a three-driver melee down there at turn 1, which saw Major slot off, and Stephenson did a really good job to avoid it. Now for Wood, it was all on his own. And the awareness, was it Dylan O'Keefe who managed to give him enough room to get back on the track? That was amazing. So watch when he hits that second bit of the curb. So all 4 wheels off the deck there, and then he whacks that curb and it fires him across the road. Dylan O'Keefe with the anticipation to get some lock on and move the car across the road. So he doesn't end up with some green paint on his white door of the APB Group Porsche. That is remarkable from O'Keefe. That is catch. That is clairvoyant driving. If he hadn't moved that Porsche out of the way, it would have been stacks on going through turn 3. Great effort from a 20-year-old driver in only his 3rd season have that level of awareness. So John Stephenson, 12th behind Stephen Grove. It's been an incredible story, his rise up through the ranks in motor racing. He's not done a lot of racing. He raced in the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge last year. Actually won a round, didn't win a race, but had the most points over the weekend. So won the round in the pro class early on in the season. Had that typical learning year of motorsport. So had a couple of offs, a couple of moments where perhaps went a little bit too hard. But from a learning point of view, it was an extraordinary season and gave them enough confidence to get into Carrera Cup this year and know that he'd be competitive. It's a great charge so far. We've got Cameron Vandendungen enjoying the action down in the lane.
Just an update on Tim Miles. Broken steering from contact early on. They're not sure exactly where the contact was, but broken steering's put him out.
Thank you for that one, Cam. He was cruising, trying to get that thing back to the lane as quickly as he could, but it was really stacking up behind him, the rest of the field. Take a guess, it was turn 1, 2, 3, or 4 on the opening lap, somewhere. Could have been 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9 as well, actually, now that I think about it. Stephenson made the switch from sprinting boots to race boots, hung up the spikes a few years back, and has been surprisingly quick since making that move across. They fan out on the way down towards turn 9. Entertaining start so far. It's Jackson Evans, the young Kiwi, leading the way.
And leading the way with pace, Chad, as well. Fastest lap of the race last time around. 1 minute 22.77. 5 tenths off the lap record. Resets that benchmark now with a 22.5. So they're getting faster and faster. In qualifying, it was lap 6 or 7 where they were getting the front tyre switched on and punching out their fastest lap times. So as this race goes on, I suspect they'll get quicker. We may well see that 2014 lap record set by Shay Davies. We may well see that go in this. It's a 1:22.29. They're not far off it. Michael Armand set the fastest lap of the race yesterday, and believe it or not, it's his first ever fastest lap in Carrera Cup history. So reveling in the drive in Porsche Carrera Cup Australia now is Sonic Motor Racing. This is a big battle pack. It's being led by triple Tag Heuer Pro-Am class winner Max Twigg. He's got the defending class winner Stephen Grove behind him. Then John Stephenson, who we've been riding with, and the rookie in the category, Adam Garwood, the young Tasmanian, who's joined Carrera Cup Australia for the first time this year. And Kralsey, that for me highlights what a performance this is from John Stephenson. 3-time winner in the green car, 2-time series winner in the red car, and here he is going toe-to-toe with both of them in what is pretty much his 2nd year of motorsport. That's a good effort. Outstanding. Yeah. Welcome to the sport, mate. Professional athletes, they just operate in a slightly different level with respect to you and I, me especially. They've just got that something very, very different that makes them elite. And John Stephenson is the definition of elite with what he's achieved in his career. Olympic medals, Commonwealth gold, and he's one of the loveliest blokes you'll ever meet. So enthusiastic, always greets you with a warm handshake and a hug, just passionate about driving. little bit of contact in the race yesterday with Tim Miles. Miles, he came up and apologised for that afterwards. They were okay, they moved on. He understands what it's all about. But you can see that competitive streak behind his eyes, and you know he doesn't really like running around in 12th place because he knows deep down inside him that he should be somewhere up the front of the field.
He's very good friends with Usain Bolt, so he keeps elite company, that's for sure. Very competitive together, doesn't matter what they're doing. Cricket, pool, doesn't matter. Dalewood now on the attack, trying to pull himself back through this field, and he's running right there with James Moffat.
I think we can claim the 6 degrees of separation there, can't we? So we're mates with Usain Bolt as well.
Yeah, easy. Indiran Padiachi here in the Rentcorp forklifts entry. That's their family business, stuck down the escape road at 4. And this is a Garth Walden operated car this weekend.
And he's got his son Devarshan, very experienced one-make Porsche racer, on the radio. So it's a bit of a role reversal, actually, from when Devarshan was racing. But they go racing as a family, Sydney-siders, and really enjoy it. Evans continues to lead. There's fastest laps going on at the front, while this battle pack sorts themselves out the bottom half of the top 10. And there's contact there, and Johnny Steff's gone around.
That's probably the biggest difference from track and field to motorsport.
Well, I've never seen someone spin in the 100 metres. That was Josh Hunt in the Valenti Rosso, brand new team to Porsche Carrera Cup Australia. Just the lightest little bit of contact. He's trying to get that car refired into gear, and he'll
awkward, got it going.
Drive away in front of Graham Williams.
It's a shame. Although it'll put him back in the pack for race 3, and he should be pretty entertaining from there. No chance of saving that one, and it left him in such an awkward spot.
With half the field barreling down him in a blind corner when you pass that wall. Yeah, light contact there from Josh Hunt. I think race control will look too kindly on that. He was covering his line. He sort of moved across, halfway across before he turned in, but Hunt certainly wasn't down the inside. And generally front bumper bar to rear bumper bar not looked too favourably upon. So race control will look at that after the race and assess a penalty if one is required for Josh Hunt, who we should say is up to 13th place, first Carrera Cup Australia round for him and for that team. So they're doing a really solid job. Unfortunate little bit of contact there. This is the leading group. It's being led by Jackson Evans. Fastest guy on the racetrack at the moment is Jordan Love, who's at the back of that train in 7th place. And he's just punched out the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 22.47. So there's 8 laps to go. And Jackson Evans leads the way. His margin's 1.5 seconds. Said it's all about getting in front, maintaining your margin, not worrying about pushing too hard. Look after your tyres with the knowledge there's still a race to go.
The team working with John Stephenson at the moment is Carl Reimler's been coaching Johnson. He's been unbelievably impressed with the former runner. And Carl should know, being that he's married to an Olympic gold medalist himself, and one of his best mates is Steve Hooker. But John Stephenson has been an unbelievable talent, they said, and expect very big things from him this year.
Carl Reimler has a couple of kids as well, and they're growing up in a very sporty and competitive family. Imagine having that. Your dad is a former race car driver and your mum, a former Olympic medalist, back on board with Armin.
Solid genes moving forward.
Not bad.
So Michael has had very good pace, and he was second fastest in practice on Thursday across 2 30-minute sessions. Unfortunately didn't get the job done in qualifying. Just timed their run quite well, got a little bit of traffic, didn't get the most out of their new Michelin tyres. So got mired down. He started 11th, worked his way forward as he's doing here, up the inside of his teammate, who gives him good racing room. And the Adelaidean moves forward. So that's a good pass. Nicely done. Michael Armin goes to 5th. So it's a good comeback after what was a frustrating qualifying performance for car 77.
Bit of formation flying from the Sonic Motor Racing Services team. Great to see the Bob Jane colours still on these cars as well. 30 years the other day since the first ever Goodyear 500 on the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bob Jane.
And 20 years of Sonic Motor Racing in professional level motorsport. They're celebrating that throughout this season, hoping for some success. Kicked it off well. They've won the last 2 Porsche Wilson Security Carrera Cup Australia rounds here in Adelaide and a whole bunch of races. And they kicked that off with a win yesterday with the man in the middle of your shot there, Dalewood.
The third driver in this queue here, just a young West Aussie, promoted to car 777, which has sort of been given, I guess, Excalibur from the crew down at Sonic, because that is the golden number you want in this competitive series. And for Jordan Love, I said, you ever been here before? He said, never been to South Australia before. So he's loving his time here, and what's not to like about racing on the streets of Adelaide. Back we go now to our Tag Heuer Pro-Am class, and the MW Services Max Twig car is under fire, but it's not from a driver in the same class. It is a pro driver of Adam Garwood now in his mirrors.
So Adam in just his second ever Carrera Cup race. He has raced Porsches before. The family had a Gen 1 997 Cup car that they used to race down in Tasmania at Simmons Plains and Basketball Raceway and Tassie Club Racing. So he has got miles in these cars. Very experienced in Touring Car Masters competition over the last 2.5 odd seasons. A couple of race wins to his credit there. And he's been doing some tarmac rallying as well. So he's a very diverse driver. He's going to look down the inside of Max Twig here. Oh. Nice move. You can tell the difference there between the professional car with the orange number and the AM car. No ABS brakes on the pro drivers in Carrera Cup. So you can pinch a brake like he did there. For Max Twig, he's got that assistance of the anti-lock brakes if he needs it.
So a lot of drivers now on their last chance with respect to curb hops at turns 1, 2 and 3. The centre chicane as Evans closes on Indiran Padiachi and puts him down a lap at turn 14. Executed that one nicely with confidence. So no more curb hops for pretty much half the field. And just to clean up the moment with car 15, Josh Hunt, he has been given the black flag for contact made earlier in the race with John Stephenson.
See, the pace is still good. Michael Armand's just done a 1:22.3. It's a 10th off the lap record. They are still pressing on towards the end of this race, like 11 of 15. Really good pace. I wonder if it goes before the end of it. It'd be nice to tick that lap record off because it's been there for a while, for a full generation of 991 GT3 Cup car. Now O'Keefe goes up the inside of Padiachi, so they're dealing with this lap traffic. And no positional changes. Michael Armand goes through as well. And Garwood, having just passed Max Twig. Wow, Adrian Flack. Does he catch it?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Stepping out of Aussie racing cars and into the Cup cars this year, and that's really stacked the pack up behind him, but it was a great save. More action here as Padiachi falls back through the lead pack, and that is a good move on the dirty side of the racetrack just to get that car stopped. He's under pressure from Dale Wood, but there has been a bit of movement at the station there with Armand and Love, both passing the race 1 winner.
I was going to say that Jordan Love's got past his teammate as well. I wonder if yesterday pretty hard out in front of that race and was under serious pressure from Jackson Evans.
He wants it back.
Goes back down the inside. I wonder if they're the same set of Michelin tyres he used in the race yesterday. So they might be on their last legs, but he's got the move done. Very nicely done. Wood back up to P6, his teammate back to 7th. Sonic Motor Racing with an inter-team battle going on here. Michael Armand driving away from them a little bit in front.
A bit of damage actually on the front end of Love's car. Now, I know there was a little bit of contact on lap 1, but that looks like it's slightly worse than what it was at the start of the race. So maybe there was a little bit more to this tail. There it is. You can just see it hanging out as he lets the back end hang out. Nice save. And he's doing an okay job. Garwood nearly twice the age of Jordan Love. But at the front of the field, it's still Jackson Evans. That young Kiwi showing a clean set of heels. Dylan O'Keefe, solid job this weekend. Maybe even a podium on the horizon if he can keep it in the top 3. Armand has really found a turn of speed. He's closed now on Moffat.
So there's 3 laps to go next time by in this, and Michael Armand not far away from potential podium finish because Dylan O'Keefe isn't too much further up the road. We go back a little bit and find our Tag Heuer Pro-Am class leader in Queenslander Roger Largo, who returned to the category with the victory in yesterday's opening race of the season. His last full-time Carrera Cup start came at Townsville a couple of years ago, and it ended in qualifying with an almighty shunt that left him in hospital for a week, and not in a particularly good way. The car did its job and protected him, but it was a very, very big impact. It's great to see him back. He's got David Russell on the microphone, on the radio, talking to him throughout the weekend. That's a long-standing relationship. He's coming off a good run at the Bathurst 12 Hour, and his Lambo's in good form and driving well.
Now, I'm not sure what tyres these are on Wood's car, but I suggest they're not that old because he's just broken that lap record you spoke of.
1:22.08. So he just cleared Jordan Love. He passed him and then he repassed him. He's got into clear racetrack. He's just punched out the fastest ever race lap for Carrera Cup cars. Their 13th visit to the streets of Adelaide. Terrific job. This is a huge battle going on. So James Moffat all over the back of Dylan O'Keefe, and Michael Armand, who's been quicker than both of them, right up behind. And this is going to go right down to the wire. Jackson Evans still leads it, just maintaining that margin at about 1.5 seconds.
Cameron Van Duggan, he's sharp down in the pits, just making sure that he's bringing us the info. Can confirm for us that these are new tyres for Dale Wood's car, so it'll be a mixed set for race number 3.
Well, it makes sense with that kind of pace. Just questioned that when he started dropping back, but I wonder if it was just the lap traffic, perhaps.
He's going fast.
Yeah, he's going to reset that benchmark.
It's great, he's got a car up the road, hasn't he? With his teammate up there, he's reeling him in.
21.9.
Nice, that's the first ever, 21.
Moving the benchmark on now. This brand new Carrera Cup car, 45 more horsepower. Little tweaks under the skin. It's a serious bit of kit. And when we get to the faster flowing racetracks where these cars can really show their mid-corner speed advantage, their grip advantage from the Michelin tyre, we're expecting an improvement anywhere between 1.2 and 2 seconds a lap.
Wow.
So watch out round 3. It's at Phillip Island.
Wow, can't wait.
That's going to be spectacular. But even the Grand Prix in 2 weeks is going to be awesome.
How about round 7? Mount Panorama. Imagine how quick these things will be around the mountain. As we go back and check out Leanne Tander, she's gone for a spin. But the good news, she's managed to keep the Porsche Doncaster Porsche Brighton motorsport entry off the fence.
Didn't have a great day yesterday. Enjoyed herself very much. Didn't get a great start and just worked her way forward. But a learning experience. Only had half a day of testing at Sandown before this weekend. Thrown right into the deep end. But said to me last night, I love this car. I need to find a way to get into it full time. If you missed the news, this is just a one-off drive for Leanne, Australian Formula 4 champion of a couple of years ago.
I just want to put into context how good the mid-corner speed is of these new cars. Kralsey, you mentioned it earlier. So the quickest middle sector of the race, just set by Dale Wood there, 20.3 seconds, as he rolls out another quick lap time. Now, sector 2 here has that fast turn 8. That is a high horsepower, high downforce corner. To put that into perspective, last year, Andre Heimgartner's pole lap, he was 20.7 through that sector, so 4 tenths quicker than the pole lap last year in a race.
Yeah, it's impressive, isn't it? It shows the advancement in year on year in car. And they're running the same construction tyre as well. So that's all the chassis and the extra horsepower doing the job. We're on the final lap. Jackson Evans has just set his personal best lap of the race and under the old lap record. So his pace out in front of this field is good. Meanwhile, the battle is still on for 3rd, 4th and 5th place. Dylan O'Keefe has not secured a spot on the podium just yet, though he has pulled away from James Moffat, who's got Michael Armand and Wood right behind him. What about this drive? The young man based now on the Gold Coast, originally from New Zealand. Great racing families. Dad's a racer, they're long-time friends of the McElrea family. Following the Matt Campbell path up through the Porsche Pyramid. Pole position, 2nd in race 1. He's about to convert it, Chad, to a very nice race win in race 2.
And he got faster and faster, setting his fastest lap on that last lap. The penultimate one. There's action going on in the background as well. But first, let's congratulate McElrea Racing and Jackson Evans picking up race win number 2. And that is a great effort to lead home the pack. Armand on the last lap gets Moffat. That's what was happening down at turn 14. Great move, but trying to follow in the footsteps of Matt Campbell here in 2016 is exactly what Jackson Evans is looking to do in his sophomore year in this class, and is showing exactly what he's capable of, beating home the reigning champ and the winner of race 2 last year, David Wall. Plenty of storyline sprouting from this one. Also, Dylan O'Keefe, hasn't he truly arrived? P3, and that comes from some good heads-up driving down there in the centre chicane. So it's Evans from Wall, O'Keefe your top 3, Armand, gee, he really ran home quickly towards the end of that one. Moffat inside the top 5, and congratulations to Roger Largo. He is your winner in the Tag Heuer Pro-Am class. Now, how about Peter Major? He recovered to finish 15th. Now, he was parked in the gravel on lap 1.
Outstanding job. Very impressive.
Just went about his business.
Yeah, unseen by us. Cameron Hill, I want to point out Cameron Hill as well, the young man from Canberra. 8th place, 2nd ever Porsche Carrera Cup Australia race. He's been brilliant in the Toyota 86 series for the last couple of seasons, and